Hey, it's Nuke the Whales. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about mostly about that day in September, 12 years ago. Uh, yeah, Syria's already gonna happen, so no point in talking about that. Yeah, we need to install a pipeline, obviously, or not so obvious. Uh, yeah, like what happened? Like, a plane, crashed into a steel building, and supposedly this guy named Kokik, the guy who was gonna run Homeland Security, but eventually end up running the police security forces in Iraq, found a passport through all the fire and metal and whatnot, through all the lithium and aluminum. Suddenly, the passport, appears out of nowhere. That's kind of odd. Um, that was Kokik for you. He's the henchman of Rudy Giuliani, the cross-dressing, blonde wig wearing Italian mafioso. Uh, Good for him. Good for him. Really showing his true colors of humanity and whatnot. Uh, what else? Let me see my notes. My notes are all here. Uh, yeah, the planes obviously made a perfect circle. It wasn't like point A to point B. It was like a round, circle that they made. I don't think, any terrorist would be able to fly that perfect, without the use of GPS and electronics, and fly exactly to the 105th floor of the building where L. Paul Bremer's, 300 employees were staying. He also headed up the security forces in Iraq, so he got off, by eliminating 300 of his employees. So yeah, Jim Pierce, George Bush's first cousin, sat at the Millennium Hotel and watched his whole, office of 12 people that he worked with, also at the 105th floor, get destroyed. So, you got George Bush's cousin sitting at a hotel just drinking wine, eating pizza, and watching some towers fall. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Uh, PNAC, which consisted of George Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, two others, total of 5, wanted a new Pearl Harbor attack to happen a year before September. That day in September, the Duke Nukem right in front of him. Fuck, I don't give a shit. Yeah, Yahoo says that day in September was beneficial to Israel and its moving forward. And yeah, that 105th floor is kind of shady if you ask me. Uh, yeah, that's all I got written down. Just if you look at the Pentagon tapes, I don't know what the frames per second were, but it was like 2 frames every 6 seconds. And I don't know. I think a plane takes like at least 3 seconds or something. Like the plane that big, 747, you'd be able to see half of it before it crashed into the Pentagon. But no, you gotta look to Rabbi Zakheim, the senior compiler of the Pentagon. You know, he knew all about you know, GPS dynamics and flying planes remotely. He knew all about that. He's a smart man, smarter than me. Well, Osama's smarter than me. He went to school in America, and Obama's pretty much smarter than me. But they all didn't get doused with, fluoride and chloride, over a 5-year period, getting locked in a freaking cell like me. So I don't know. I guess that stunts your growth a little bit. But other than that, I don't know. I think I'll get by. There's nothing you could do. No type of wheatgrass or you could drink to get rid of all that brain necrosis and that golemizer. Yeah, you can't really do shit. Whatever, such is life. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I talked mostly about that day in September. And I don't know, whoever believes that official story is whack in their brain. Totally. I don't know why. I don't know. They're not as whack as the Prime Minister of Israel, but they're still pretty whack. Where does blood come from? Yeah. We pretty much use depleted uranium in Kuwait and other places. That's not a chemical. This is a radioactive fractal. I don't know. And look how cloudy it is. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but besides, I don't know. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.